Guys, I'm Andre, a certified tour guide in Minsk, Belarus, and if need be, your concierge, a helping hand here on the ground. Today we're talking about a foreigner buying a house with land in Belarus. Real estate is a very interesting business, very interesting dynamic field in Belarus. Because of the crisis and COVID, the prices are going down by and by. So if you're thinking of a property in Minsk, this summer or later might be a perfect period to buy one. As a foreign national, you cannot buy land for private property here in Belarus. This statement shouldn't scare you anyhow, because you can have this land for rent for 99 years. It's not a problem to arrange that. So here is this first case. I took my Dutch customer to my area, Stolpce area, which is just 1 hour away from Minsk. Cool nature, internet reception and everything, to buy a house with land in my village. The first trick, there were 3 owners, 3 old guys, 2 of them living in Minsk, so that's a bit of a challenge to get them all together and make sure they're not on medication, they're not on treatment, they're not sick or something like this. It's not a problem, however. The second challenge in such a deal is currency. Everybody wants currency, not the ruble. Old guys are quite conservative, like I call them old school folks. They know of dollars only, they don't like euro. We went to a bank and converted. Conversion rate, the more you exchange, the more it matters. It's pretty small, but if you're exchanging 8,000 euro, it really matters. So it makes sense to ask around banks and see which exchange rate is better. Speaking of currency, it's a bit of a challenge if it's over $10,000 worth of property, because you can bring the 10,000 euro in your pocket without having to declare it. The rest you actually can bring in, but you need a declaration with the customs, which is not too troublesome, I guess, but you might want to avoid it and set up a bank account here and transfer from abroad, which will be kind of safer and easier in terms of logistics. So that's doable. In our case, it was under 10,000, so money changed hands. The old guy tediously counted it and everything was all right. So we settled. We went upstairs into the BTI office where papers were being prepared. The next little thing is processing fees. There are 5 bills to pay, total of 290 rubles. That's the purchase, the applications, the registration of the new owner. The total is 290, and it helps to have someone local with a card account and mobile bank to actually process all these payments online, so not to go to a bank somewhere across the street, sweat through the lunch break or something like that. The third issue, if you don't speak any Russian, like enough to understand the deal and what's going on, to express your consent or disagreement with something the notary is asking you, you have to have a notarized translator at the process. It costs some 20 bucks an hour, give or take, and if you want to drag them to the countryside, of course it will be full day and you have to allow for that in the budget. Right now I'm undergoing the certification procedure, so in 2 weeks time I'll be able to marry, divorce, blah blah blah. This is BTI office behind me. This is where the notary part and the technical part of the deal, when you're buying or selling land or apartment or house, occurs. And this is phase 1 of our deal. We're upstairs with the sellers. There are 3 siblings, as I probably mentioned, old folks. So we already paid them off and took the papers upstairs to fix the deal. That's the ownership papers and the passports, that's it. The sweet part of a real estate deal here in Stolpce is that everything is kind of home-like. The taxation office is just behind the corner. Behind me there are officials that get you married, get you divorced, get your land fixed, and all sorts of things. So essentially we are within 1 square kilometer of everything here. Of course, not to mention that it's a short ride away from the village, 15 kilometers. That might be a problem if you're not driving. Normally, if you are visiting a BTI or a notary office, there has to be an appointment, because right now COVID has taken out half of their personnel and 1 single guy fixes all the paperwork. But it's empty. We're lucky today. We are getting things fixed fast. I hope it's just an hour or so of bureaucracy, maybe even less than that, plus the payment, and you're done. Once the land has been paid for, you have to go to the village council, present yourself to the local authorities. In our case, it's about 10 kilometers away from the village. It's most important for you to have an authorized translation of your passport. So fix that. It's some 20 bucks here in Minsk, done over 24 hours before you go somewhere to clinch a deal on real estate or whatever. In the village council, there is a certain, let's say, manager, officer that's in charge of real estate registration, land registration. She helped us to process an application to change the status of the land from property, lifetime property, into rent. So my guy is now the legitimate tenant of the land. And once this application has been approved of by the village council, the paperwork will land in the authority in Stolpce, the district center. We'll go there in 2 weeks to finish the deal, to sign him in as the owner of the house and the land, and to process his registration and to process the application for TRP for a year, the temporary residency permit. If need be, if he needs to travel, he'll also have to apply for a multiple entry visa. We'll discuss the details in part 2. Thank you. This was a quick story about how it works, just an outline. You shouldn't take it as professional advice, but you can message me to get one. And thank you for watching the video. Press a like, ask questions under the video. Join my real estate tours. The next one is this Saturday. We're going to my area to see $5,000 to $10,000 worth houses. Check them out, talk to the owners, maybe negotiate a good price, and hope to see you in Minsk someday. Thank you for watching and travel safely. Cheers.